Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and before we get into the rest of the Red Sox, just want to talk about your special that you have on Friday night, 7:30 p.m., the Hanover Girls Ice Hockey. Season recap and everything?
Yeah, it'll be a season recap. We'll have the finals game against Exeter. That was played at the SNHU Arena in Manchester, so that special will air on Friday at 7:30 p.m., so be sure to check that out.
Excellent. All right. So now let's get back into the Red Sox, and we'll keep it with the pitching staff. We'll go to the bullpen and pitching, and obviously, Tyler Thornburg injured, kind of a question mark on what's going on with him. Carson Smith still injured. And you mentioned it right before we started the show. Is it a coincidence, or what's the problem that these Red Sox pitchers are trending same type of injuries?
Yeah, there's been some talk recently about the way the Red Sox coaches and pitching trainers kind of get their pitchers into spring training, and some of these guys like Pomeranz, Thornburg, all these guys just getting injured right at the beginning of spring training. And it's not the first time this has happened. This is multiple players. So, some of the training staff, they've kind of had to look at themselves and say, how are we doing things? Why are all these guys going down? But it's funny with Thornburg and Carson Smith, Dave Dombrowski got these guys. They each had one really, really good season with ERAs about 2.5. Really good stuff. And then they come here and they go down. And I know Carson Smith was basically gone all last season. I think he pitched maybe once or twice. But, both of these guys, I mean, if we lose Thornburg for this entire season, we get Carson Smith back in the middle of the year, I mean, that's a long time without a really true kind of setup guy.
Right, I guess, and the next question would be is who and how do they fill that bullpen? Obviously, they're going to have to go out and get somebody if these two guys are injured for any certain amount of time. But is Matt Barnes, we saw him pitch on Monday, does he become the setup guy? Because it looks like they got some specialty guys out there, but Barnes might be that guy who has to step up.
Yeah, an eighth inning guy, it's a question. They have a number of guys. I think, Robbie Ross Jr. is probably more of a middle reliever. Barnes probably more of a middle reliever. Joe Kelly probably more middle. But that eighth inning,
they don't have an eighth inning. They got a bunch of guys who are decent in the middle relief, but they don't have that one fireman for the eighth inning.
Yeah, I mean when Carson Smith comes back, he'll be the guy. He's got that really good side kind of throw, but. Right now, the bullpen is a little thin. I know they pulled in, I think, Robbie Scott.
Yes,
a couple of guys from the minors that made opening day camp. So,
it's never easy. It looks like you said, at the beginning of the season, they had, 6 pitchers when they got Chris Sale. They had 6 pitchers, and then they obviously traded away Buchholz, which they had to get rid of somebody. But now you get some injuries piling up, and it doesn't look so plentiful as we get into the season. Let's go over to the offensive side quickly and just talk about this offense. David Ortiz, obviously gone. He's not coming back. Can they keep up? Obviously, they're not going to score as many runs. They're not going to have as good of an offense. But Andrew Benintendi, if he can step up, maybe you get something again from Hanley. Hopefully he can give it. Maybe something from Pablo.
Yeah, I think Hanley at the DH, mostly just playing DH. I think that's going to help his offense. I know they got Mitch Moreland. He'll play. He's got a Gold Glove at first base. But at the offense, Andrew Benintendi and Pablo Sandoval both. Andrew Benintendi's always looked like a superstar, but Pablo really lost a ton of weight, and he's looked really good so far. So if they can get some runs out of Pablo, a bunch out of Benintendi, I think they'll fill that void left by Ortiz pretty well.
And there's a lot of talk, some question marks. Can Betts have as good of a season as he had last year? Bradley, what are we going to get from him first half or second half numbers? Bogarts, he kind of tailed off towards the end. But it also seems like, I don't want to say this team is one season away because I like them to win the World Series this year. I didn't pick them to because I just think there's too many question marks. But it is almost like maybe this isn't their year. They put everything together. They still have Bradley, Betts, and Bogarts. They'll be back next year. Benintendi will be back. Obviously, maybe Vasquez will be the catcher. So it almost seems like this team is trending towards win the American League East. You might not get to the World Series, but next year is going to be their big year with Sale, Price, and Porcello back again.
Yeah, it seems like if they're all healthy next season, that looks like a more promising year. But, who knows if some of their pitchers can step up. If Pomeranz and Wright can pitch like all-stars like they did last year, they can probably, fill that hole left by Price. Right now they're pretty banged up. Their depth is running thin, so.
And you still got Eduardo Rodriguez.
Right,
And
yeah.
I know people don't want to count on him because he has been so up and down, but he has so much potential.
Yeah.
If he can just harness that,
Right.
there's another number 3 starter who could be a number 2 on some teams.
Yeah, when he's on fire, he is just lights out, and you can see his command. He's a big guy up there. He just throws so hard and with such precision. When he's on, and I think it's really mental for him.
Yeah.
You can tell he gets nervous and he gets anxious, but when he is just calm, he's one of the best pitchers. I mean, his ceiling is so high, but really it's pretty much hit or miss with him.
Right, and time's running out on how many more tries you give him through the rotation because he has been so up and down. So it's a long season. It's just started. Red Sox play Wednesday night tonight against the Pirates again. Chris Sale, we'll see what they can get from him. The other team playing tonight, the Celtics, and we'll get into them. They play the Cavs, a big matchup, probably for the number 1 seed. So we'll take a break. Come right back with some Celtics talk. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.